A lot of you are probably expecting another adventure to be covered today, but I'm trying my best to not rush into things. Before we touch on that, we'll be losing some of the advancements made over the years, but that being said, gear up and get ready for a masterful approach to an old favorite. Hello everybody, I'm Garrula64, and Sonic 1 is the third best classic Sonic game right behind Sonic 3 and Knuckles and Mania. Feel free to tell me why I'm wrong in the comments. Alright, let's not get ahead of ourselves, since I'm not actually talking about Sonic 1 today, or at least not the one you're thinking of. Sonic 1 for the Game Gear and Master System is something that I've only explored previously in Mania mods. You might remember I played a couple of those back in the day. I probably said something like, oh, they should remake the entire game in this engine because it's better, but you know, after playing them myself, I'm gonna go back on that. I think they're pretty alright as they are. The 8-bit version of Sonic 1 launched for the Game Gear and Master System several months after the Genesis version back in 1991. Oh boy, the Master System. Basically the cryptid of video game consoles for me. I've still never seen one and I've only heard legends. Was it actually real? The world may never know, or maybe they will. Like most Sonic games do, Sonic 1 begins in Green Hill. There are 2 acts before Dr. Robotnik shows up to fly back and forth menacingly. Next, you might think you're heading to Marble Zone, but this game actually bridges the gap between Zones 1 and 3 with a level that doesn't get the love it deserves. It's Bridge Zone. Basically Green Hill, except with more water. But not Splash Hill. God, life is so confusing. In this level, you can really feel how different the controls are from the Genesis version. While you're walking up these slight inclines, sometimes Sonic will just get stuck in place. Also, it doesn't help that Act 2 is an auto-scroller, but that combined with the different controls almost makes this feel like a Mario game without a run button. The main reason I say that is, contrary to what you might expect from a Sonic game, you spend a lot more time here platforming and navigating areas at lower speeds. This might have played into why I liked it so much, but some areas that I'll talk about later make me wish the level design had been approached differently when they were designing the game. Another couple gameplay changes while we're at it. It doesn't matter if you have 1 ring or 100 rings, if you get hit, you lose all of them and you can't recollect a single one. It's basically what they were doing in Forces until people complained about it. I don't think this detracts from the game that much, and the boss acts don't have rings anyway, so either way, they're still the most frustrating thing the game has to offer. The Chaos Emeralds are also just chilling out in the stages. I don't know if Robotnik just dropped them when he was walking home from the store or something, but it seems a little irresponsible. Also, they're all blue, which I won't complain about because blue is the best color. Bridge Zone welcomes us to the jungle, and here's where things start to get a little weird. It seems like there are a few paths you can take, but if you end up taking the higher road, it's a huge gamble as to what might be below you if you ever happen to fall. That's not something that's exclusive to this game, of course, but in this particular one, it's more intimidating for some reason, and I can't really describe why. Act 2 reminds me of Super Mario Bros. 2's 3-1, except once the screen scrolls up here, that is a death plane, and it really caught me off guard. Also, the screen doesn't scroll up fast enough, so you end up jumping directly into hazards with no way to see them coming. Nothing but good decisions here. The boss of this zone, thanks to the lack of rings, is much more challenging than it needs to be, for the wrong reasons. Keeping track of Robotnik and his discarded bowling balls at the same time gets hectic, and then maybe you run right off the edge after you beat him, and I don't know, it probably won't hurt you as much as it hurt me, but I'm a human and I feel things, and goddamn, I felt something after that. Next up, as if the game is actively trying to make me feel bad, it's Labyrinth Zone. So, I just want to know the process. You had Spring Yard, Starlight, and you chose to bring back the worst zone in the game and make it even worse because...
Pain keeps me warm.
It's back, and it's worse. That was not a joke. You're a lot slower underwater in this version than in the Genesis version, and these spears are really hard to dodge with Sonic being the size he is. Also, they put one of the Chaos Emeralds in this spike pit? They're just being cruel at this point, especially since the spike glitch is back in all its glory. Even the music is different than in the Genesis version, and that, coupled with all of the gameplay stuff I just mentioned, makes this a total downgrade of this zone in every conceivable way. And look at that, how fitting. After a frustrating zone, we have a frustrating boss. Again, it's not hard, it's just time-consuming, and these missiles here are very dedicated to their jobs. They also decided to bring back Scrap Brain Zone, again with different music, and this one really tripped me up since up until this point the game had been really linear, but this one requires that you take a couple paths to hit some switches before heading down another path. Otherwise, you get stuck in this here area with no way to progress, and you have to go and do it all over again. They never did anything like this before this point, and they don't do anything like it after. Then there's this other bit where you need to jump into a specific corridor after running down the same bit of level copy and pasted 3 times, and if you get impatient, you fall too far and you gotta do it all over again just like the last bit, and it's just bothersome, I don't like it. Scrap Brain is also the only zone with 3 full acts instead of 2, and there's no boss, you just get this nice cutscene of Robotnik teleporting away as Sonic gives chase. Finally, Sonic finds himself in Skybase Zone, which reeks of Flying Battery and Wing Fortress, but before those were a thing. Act 1 is kinda rough with all these electrical hazards, not being able to pick up rings really stings here. And now that I'm thinking about it, is it possible this act might have been the inspiration for all those electrical hazards in Mania's Flying Battery? Again, feel free to tell me I'm wrong in the comments, I love to hear about it. Act 2 is basically an entirely different ballgame, because you can just skip the whole thing, grab the emerald, and then just leave. Just between the two of us, I don't know what the rest of the stage looks like, because this is what I did for both playthroughs I did of this. And now, your entire 50-minute journey culminates here with the final boss. Robotnik stands behind some glass and tries to zap you, but he can't because Sonic is too cool to electrocute. And that's the end of the game. There's no huge conclusion or anything, it just ends, that's it. Sonic jams out a little bit in the credits, possibly a reference to the scrapped band that he was supposed to be a part of. I personally think they destroyed that concept because Vector's abs would have stolen the spotlight. And yeah, it's a pretty short romp, but it's a lot of fun. And now, since I'm in the middle of a handheld Sonic marathon of sorts, let's take a look at the Game Gear version. Immediately you'll notice one huge change. Sonic has had a redesign. They finally managed to do away with the biggest flaw in his design, that pesky nose. Just think about it. If you didn't have a nose, it couldn't get stuffed anymore, and I think it's definitely worth getting rid of for that purpose alone. I don't want to hear a single one of you disagreeing with me on that. I knows best. Speaking again about design, the levels are almost exactly the same aside from some subtle changes here and there. For example, the Chaos Emerald isn't in that spike pit in that Labyrinth Zone act anymore. Also, they put Scrapbrain's Emerald on the left side instead of the right. Thank you very much for that. That was a pressing issue that I'm glad was addressed. Also, to accommodate for that screen crunch, Sonic and all the Badniks are smaller than they were in the Master System version. But for whatever reason, they made Robotnik bigger so you can defeat him 10 times as fast as before, which, not gonna lie, rectifies a lot of the issues I had with the original game. Despite the screen crunch, I definitely had a better time playing this version. But believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, that's still not the best way to play this game, because when I had just finished recording footage of both versions of this, my friends brought this remake project by Creative Aria to my attention. Also, I probably said that wrong, and I'm very sorry. This team is working not only on a Sonic 1, but also Sonic 2 Master System PC and Android remake. Yeah, you can play these things on your phone. Pretty sick. The resolution of the game is obviously ramped up to suit your PC, the screen is huge so you don't need to worry about reduced view you get on the Game Gear version, and it comes with a load of extras to boot, including the entire Mania gang as separate playable characters. It also adds a 7th Chaos Emerald, moves emeralds into the game's bonus stages, which also house one heck of a bop in my opinion, and it changes some level layouts to make them more player-friendly. This project even comes with the ability to switch out Bridge Zone for Marble Zone, and it has insta-kill lava for some reason. Look, I can die in lava in one hit in real life, I don't need this realism bleeding into my video games. I might not know a ton of specifics about the game just yet, but maybe we can all learn about it together when I stream it over on my Twitch channel. Follow me there, and keep an eye on my Discord, my Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube community tab for more info on when that stream might happen. So if you're gonna play 8-Bit Sonic 1, my personal recommendation would be to play the PC remake, because there's tons of new content, and it's just an overall more smooth experience. But honestly, it's just really dependent on what kind of experience you want to have while playing the game. And I guess you could always play it in the Game Gear Micro when it comes out, but I mean, unless you're the size of a mayfly, I don't think you're gonna be having much fun. Seriously, do be looking out for that stream, because it will happen. It's not like back when I was playing a bunch of Mania mods and I was like, hey, I should play more of this, but whatever. Anyway, if you like this video and you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe, click the bell, follow my Twitter, and join the Discord to keep up with more Sonic reviews and other things that aren't Sonic reviews, because I do a lot of things. Also, side note, I will be doing Sonic Advance 3 at some point, and if you made it to this point in the video, feel free to tell people that are in the comment section begging for that it will happen eventually and they should watch the entire video to the end. You have my full permission to do this. I'd also like to give a huge thank you to my current supporters, who are Alex Sniff, Common CJ, Danny Dauber, Mike TGC, Raiden Still Plays, Chaos, Cosmic Mushroom, Chaotic Mercenary, Ty Little Tech Guy, Jaded Indolent, Jeremy, Lucas Tallman, Mega Traffic Cone, Crystal, and over on Patreon we have AJ Rat and Rob Morrison. Thanks to these guys and everyone in the $1 tier for supporting, I really appreciate it, and if you have any interest in becoming a supporter yourself, you can either go check out the join button beneath the video, or you can check out the cards at the top of the video to check out my Patreon. You all get the same rewards for doing either thing, and if you're in the Discord, that's where you'll get those rewards, including exclusive blooper videos for all of the reviews that I upload, just like this one. They're okay, they're funny a little bit, I guess. One last special shout out to my editor Andrew, he's been doing an amazing job with all of this stuff so far. far. And if you're enjoying that I'm getting these out weekly now, you better give him a huge thank you in the comments as well, because I would not be able to do it without him because I am incredibly lazy and bad at editing. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.